Hi, this is Roger in Finland, and today we're going to take a look at the Meike Cine lenses 12mm and 25mm T2.2 for Micro Four Thirds. For those of you without patience, here is the 12mm, here's the 25mm. They are great, they are affordable, they are not for you. If you need autofocus, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon for some more content. And now for the rest of you that want to stick around for some more details, let's take a look at this. So why to review them together in the first place? Well, a set of cinema lenses should behave in a very similar manner. They should have a similar color cast, they should be built in the same way, they should have similar size, gears in the same place, same filter threads, and basically the only actual difference should be the focal length. The whole set for Micro Four Thirds is 12mm, 16, 25, 35, 50 and 65, all of them T2.2. I believe that some of them, if not all, are also available for some of the APS-C mounts, but I'm not so familiar with those. So which are the common things for all of these lenses? And here I'm looking at the 12mm and the 25 because these are the ones that they actually do have. All of them are T2.2, and remember that that's about the light transmittance. Most photographic lenses, they just have the F number, and that's the distance relationship between the maximum aperture diameter and the focal length. But these cinema lenses are measured by what light gets through. And in general, if a lens might be f1.8, then T will be always bigger number than that one, because all the glass elements and then some other imperfections that will eat some of the light. But in cine lenses, you want to have precise amount of light gathered, not just that distance ratio. So all of these are T2.2. All of them have geared focus ring and aperture, and the focus rings have a throw of 270 degrees, which is pretty big, and it's very, very nice to manually focus precisely. The reason that it is important and the gears are in the same place in a set of cine lenses is so that it's easy to change them. In this case, I have this follow focus here. I can just move it a little bit, change the lens, and once the new lens is mounted, the follow focus is ready to go. It would be the same here if I would have a matte box with certain filters. All having the same sizes is really helpful. The aperture is also geared, it's declicked since this is a cinema lens, and it goes from T2.2 to T22. The filter thread is a 77mm filter for all of the lenses, and all of them weigh around 600 grams. Some of them go a little bit below, like the 25mm, some of them go a little bit beyond that, and that's probably because of the different designs and the different amount of glass they have. The construction is all metal for all of them. They are super solid lenses and very well built, with metal mount, of course, and the 600 grams is actually fairly light for being cinema lenses. They feel very good, they feel very well built, they are hefty without being super heavy. These lenses are fully manual, the focusing, the aperture, but they have absolutely no electronic contact, so your camera will not know what is plugged to it. For the cameras that have IBIS, in-body image stabilization, like the Panasonic G9 or the GH5, you probably want to set the focal length manually into the camera, because then it adjusts for how the stabilization does behave. Even if the whole set should behave similarly, I can only speak for the 12 and the 25, which are the ones that I do have, and both of them are super well built. As I was mentioning before, this full metal construction gives you really a lot of confidence. The focus ring and the aperture ring are very smooth, very well dampened. I don't feel any cracks, any clicks or anything that it would get stuck anywhere, and they're fairly new lenses. I got them in a really good deal here in Finland, second hand actually. But if the rest of the series is built and behaves like these two, which they really should, this makes it for a fantastic and affordable cinema set for Micro Four Thirds shooters. When it comes to the optics, both of them have some elements in some groups, which if you're really interested, you can go to the website and find out. That's an information that never tells me anything in a camera review, but they are very sharp without being clinically sharp like some really modern lenses. I didn't find that they have any special color cast or anything strange. They have very nice looking, in my opinion, very pleasant bokeh and bokeh poles, and in general the out of focus areas. And they have no or very little focus breathing. That's a characteristic that you do want in a cine lens, or in general in any lens that you're going to be using for video, because that's what happens when you are actually focusing and the focal length, or let's say the field of view, changes when you're focusing in a different space, and that's actually quite distracting. So it's something which is very nice in a video centric, definitely because it's a cine lens focused, that they have no focus breathing or very little. Something that I like very, very much from both of these lenses. I don't know how the rest of the set behaves, but these two have a very, very close focusing distance. They are not macro lenses by the definition of like 1:1 ratio, but they get actually quite close to being a pseudo macros, especially 25mm that has a little bit longer focal length, and it doesn't look as, where it does this when the objects are really, really close to the lens. I think it's fantastic for close-ups or anything related to small objects. And because it can focus so closely, it's very, very easy to get shallow depth of field using the T2.2 if you would need that. What do they compare to? Well, I'm not sure, because at this price point, there's very, very little things which are comparable. I suppose that the closest comparison are the Rokinon or Samyang cine lenses, which mostly, at least the first versions that I did try, are photography lenses rehoused, and that they do have rings or gears for the focus and the aperture. The difference actually, I think, between the photo and cine lenses for the Samyang Rokinon is that the photography lenses don't have gears, and they do have electronic contacts, and the cine ones, they don't have the electronic contacts, but they have the gears. Optically, they are the same, and actually, if you check some pictures, the sizes differ very, very much from the wide angles to the long lenses. The position of the gears in some of them also differs because of this really big size difference. So if you think about it as a set of cine lenses, I think this Meike will yet get you closer to what the cine lens set should be rather than the Rokinon. The other thing that comes to mind, again thinking about the price, these things, by the way, go for under $400 or euros, any of them, which I think is insane for what they give. But in that price range, if they are not the Samyangs, you could probably take a look at the SLRMagic. The expensive ones, which are probably good, they are much more expensive than this. And the cheap ones, which I do have a couple of reviews in my channel, I'm going to put links somewhere here and then down below, they have nothing with this. They do cover full frame sensor, at least the two that I've tested, but they had huge sharpness problems. The build quality was nowhere near where this is. There was some issues also when trying to focus and getting like stuck in some points. So if that's the comparison point, these are just way, way so much better. I didn't mention it earlier, but these are my opinions. Nobody's sponsoring this video. You might have guessed it by the size of the channel. So I bought this my own money. So who's this for? I'm going to say that this is for Micro Four Thirds video shooters, people with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, which is what I'm filming right now. I have the 25mm Meike mounted in there, Zcam E2 or GH5, GH5S, even Panasonic G9, I think it's a great camera for video, and getting a bit more serious into video shooting and don't need or don't want to use autofocus. These are great, great manual focusing lenses. And again, if you get the full set, you have a really great variety of focal lenses for a fairly affordable price, great quality, and I think they are true cine lenses. If you want autofocus, this is not for you. And I think this is as easy as that. Why did I get the 12 and 25? The 25mm is very, very close to what my favorite focal lens ever is, which is 45mm equivalent in full frame, and the 25mm mounted on the BMPCC4K, the Pocket 4K, it gets me very, very close. I think it's about a 46mm equivalent when in terms of field of view. So that's pretty much my favorite focal lens ever. And then I got this 12mm because I like something wider than the 25, and I felt that maybe the 16 is a little bit too close to the 25 already, and I have the 17mm Laowa that kind of covers the focal length, so that's why I decided to go with the 12. If I find some good deals, if I do find them second-hand for similar prices what I found these two, I'm probably gonna snatch some more of this series because I think they are really, really good quality for what they offer. You might have noticed that I really love these lenses. Alright, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click like and subscribe, and we're gonna see you soon for some more content.